Whether you're 16 or 40, coming out is never easy. There's never a right time to come out, as the only perfect time is when you feel safe and comfortable with your own self. Have you figured out that you're a part of the LGBTQ community, but you're not sure how to tell people about it? Here are 8 things you need to know before coming out of the closet. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay to feel anxious. It's perfectly normal to feel nerves or even anxiety when you're thinking about coming out. If the thought of making the announcement itself is what scares you, just remember that coming out doesn't have to be a grand event. Some people may feel empowered by coming out parties and Facebook posts, but it can be as intimate as you need it to be. You don't have to do it alone. Coming out doesn't have to be something you have to handle on your own. It's perfectly okay to have a friend or a loved one, someone you've already come out to accompany you in situations that may make you especially anxious. This can include telling your parents, extended family, or even a group of friends. Choose the right time. When coming out to close friends and family for the first time, it helps to have their undivided attention before bringing up something so important. It's not the best idea to come out during major events like weddings or baby showers, or while the person you're talking to has their minds occupied with other activities. It's also probably not a great idea to bring home a brand new partner to shock your parents with. Coming out can be an emotional time for every party involved, so it's important to give the person you're talking to attention and private time to help them internalize what you're telling them. Before we continue, we'd like to thank our partner, 2C Cosmetics, for sponsoring this video. 2C Cosmetics blends her advocacy for the LGBTQ community and her passion for makeup to create a line of cosmetic products that shows your inner mermaid. Just like Ariel, the little mermaid, wanted her voice to be heard, a lot of people going through transition have been made fun of or been told that they aren't real women. In the end, Ariel made a sacrifice to make her dreams come true. You should never be judged for who you are or who you want to become. Check out the link below for more information. Don't put yourself at risk. There are situations in which coming out can mean jeopardizing your own safety. Remember, your safety must always come first. If you fear that coming out to someone could harm you in any way, socially or even physically, then don't do it. Unfortunately, there are people that may not be accepting of your coming out. But that doesn't mean that you have to live the rest of your life in the closet. If being openly LGBTQ at home is not a safe option for you, or even if you feel ostracized or shamed where you live, it's important to look for support and comfort elsewhere. Search for any LGBTQ-friendly community programs or alliances near you, or speak to a counselor to discuss your possible options. Throw away your expectations. People's first reactions may not be the ones you wanted or expected. This is a big part of your life that you're opening them up to, and everyone reacts differently to news this big. Some people might be completely shocked, while others may need some time alone to digest the information. Others may have already seen some clues that you were LGBTQ and may tell you that they had a feeling. Some people may treat the topic very casually, as if it was just some cool thing about you that they didn't know. Whatever their response, try not to judge them and be patient with how they handle your news. A true family bond can't be broken by sexuality. Don't be so hard on your parents. Some parents know their children are queer before they themselves do, but other parents may have a different life for their children planned out in their heads. In their minds, you're going to marry a cisgendered person of the opposite sex. You're going to have children naturally. You would never know the hatefulness and fear of homophobia or transphobia. While the world still has a long way to go in the equality department, your parents need help to understand that you are who you've always been, and your life, for the most part, doesn't have to change. Be open with them. Explain your feelings to them. Don't be upset if they react with sadness or disappointment. Sometimes we get caught up in thinking that it's everyone else's job to try to see things our way. But your parents aren't perfect. They need help understanding too. Prepare yourself for questions. Be open to questions. Know that the people you came out to may ask questions, lots and lots of questions. Sometimes they may not always feel appropriate. In fact, they might feel a tad invasive. But they're just curious. They're just trying to gain an understanding of your newly proclaimed identity. Note that while it's important to be open and willing to educate those close to you about yourself, you also don't have to feel like you need to explain everything. There are some things we would rather keep private. There are others we don't always know the answer to. Just be patient. Coming out never ends. Heterosexual people don't have to walk into a room and shout, "Hey, I'm straight!" And you shouldn't have to either. We often don't understand how much our sexual and gender identities play into our everyday lives until we realize we're queer. Do you talk about your girlfriend when all the other girls in the room are discussing funny things that their boyfriend said? Whether you decide to disclose your LGBTQ identity or not is up to you and your comfort level. It might always be a little nerve-wracking to let people find out that you're LGBTQ, but it gets easier every time. Coming out can be daunting, and sometimes it feels like there are 100 reasons why we just shouldn't do it at all. But once you're ready, there are 1,000 reasons why coming out can be amazing. Coming out is never easy. The most important part is being confident and true to yourself. Do you have any coming out advice that you'd like to give? Let your fellow Psych2Go readers know in the comment section down below.